Right. So we were discussing about the coding. So that is one of the most important tasks in the implementation process. And this is where we convert. This is where do the actual thing. We instruct the computer and we try to get our work done. It is very important. So please write down. It is very important to make the code readable to other developers and even for the future developers, as this is a teamwork, as this is a teamwork. In future, there might be needs to improve the system. There might be needs to improve the systems, and different set of developers might handle the case, might handle it. So okay, let's see two options. So let's see two possible options, and I'm going to use this code. Right, I'm going to use this code and I'm going to run the program in online Pascal compiler. So this compiler. So let me run this code. I'm going to remove this and paste this code, and you can see this is a program. This is a Pascal program. When I'm going to run this, it's defining three variables, total x and y, and those are integers, and x equal 10, y equal 5. So total is x plus y, which is 15, 10 plus 5 is 15, and going to print the total and end this program. And this is, you can see, the online program. When I run this, without any complaint, it prints 15. But it is only a single line. One line, it has done the work. But this code is kind of inflexible. Or this is like unclear. Okay, method 1. So please write method 1 and write the code. This code is not really good as it is unclear to readers. Okay, so there's a question. Yeah, you're asking about the term test examination. Term test examination, yes, you will get questions from Pascal. You'll get questions from Pascal, and these two chapters will be addressed. Don't worry, grade 10 content will not come. So if you are coming for grade 10 class and grade 11 class both, you have to be prepared for grade 10 content. That is logic gate, number systems, and first lesson logic gate and number systems. If you are coming for the grade 10 class. Otherwise, if you are only coming for grade 11 class, you have to prepare for this Pascal as well as this lesson. Okay, please write the code and explain. This method 1, it's not really good. But so if I write a code like this, so let's say I'm going to write a code like this. Let's copy the same, right? Now I'm going to write a code like this. In this second method, I'm writing same code, same number addition, same code, but you can see it explains the code, purpose of the code. In the first line, explain that this is comment. This whatever inside the braces is called comment. Comment explain the purpose of the code. This program will add 2 numbers and print the total as the result. And program is add numbers. Program has a meaningful name. Total, number 1 and number 2 variables are having meaningful names. And introducing variables, that is the comment that shows what is happening in this line. then number 1 equal 10. What is happening in this line is assign value, or you can say assign value to number 1. And the second one is saying, so you can say assign value to number 2. So likewise, it explains the process. So then later, when someone, though this is very simple code, anyone can understand that. Even the first one is okay, actually speaking, because adding 2 numbers, any kind of idiot can understand that. So that is to add 2 numbers. But the thing is, when it comes to complex programs, that matters. You need explanation. So what this code does, so that explanation can be given inside the comments. So adding comments will not do anything, but so it will give the same result 15, but it's more clear to the reader. Right? Total is 15. Here even I have added total is 15. That's fine. This is more clear to the reader. That's why the second method is very important. So this is called internal documentation. This spacing, these comments, these are called internal documentation. Okay, right, method 2. This is method 2. So I'll make it orange color because these are comments. I'll make it different color. You can also write this in different color pen, or even sometimes you can highlight this using a highlighter. Whatever preferred, please apply that. So this second code is more readable, clear to the reader, and easy to understand. Clear to the reader and easy to understand. That is the advantage of second method. So please write both method 1 and method 2, and explain the issue. Show the issue. Okay, the remaining part I'll explain one by one, which is there in the book. I can explain the same. So because these are the important tasks, then you have to focus about the balance. That is basically testing and debugging. So I think you know the word debugging. Bugs means errors. Debugging means detecting and correcting the errors. So let me remind small story. So this is what internet says about the first computer bug. The first computer bug. Right, the first computer bug, or it's found on September 9, 1947, just after the World War, I think. So this is what they found as the first computer bug. It's like, it's an insect. It's an insect. Actually, what has happened, so in the earlier days, when the software engineers, they do the programming, in earlier days, they were responsible to maintain the hardware, as well as they were responsible to repair the hardware in case of damage. That means if you write a program to that large first generation computer, so what you have to do, in case of damage, you have to repair the machine. So, but that machine is like a building size machine. So here in this era, actually in the first generation, this is in 1947, ENIAC, let's say ENIAC, I don't know, yes, it's 46, it's developed for 1946. You can see the picture of machine. So it's like a building size. So this is, you can see it's very large machine, right? This is the computer. This is called the first generation computer, and you can see the images. Anyway, so whoever programmed this machine was responsible to repair the machine in case of damage. So what has happened, one programmer was programming this. Yeah, it's a real bug. So one programmer was programming this, and what has happened? So he found that machine is not working. Suddenly it stopped working, and he was worrying. So he was worrying, what has happened? What has happened? He was searching in every relay, every switch. So bug in a switch, right? So what has happened? A bug in a switch, but anyway, it's not really visible here. First computer. So it's like this, in between switch, this is the note that written by the particular person after finding that in between a switch. So here, so you have switches now. Switch in between the switch, the real bug and this insect was there. That's a moth, actually. It's a moth. This moth was there in between the switch. So he removed the bug, debug. So it started working. So that is the interesting story about bugs and debug. Bug debug story, still it's there. So bugging and debugging, bugs means errors. Today also debugging is detecting and correcting the errors. How does the bug inside? So what do you mean? So maybe when tossing the switch, so a bug or maybe a moth or someone can fly. Insect can fly in between this. But when it is closed, suddenly, automatically when it is closed, it can start in the middle. So that's what happened. Okay, now we don't have bugs. Now we don't have that physical bugs or the insects. Instead of that, we have errors. So detecting these errors is called, detecting and correcting these errors is called debugging, right? That is the story, and this is what happened. So in computing, so basically, first, what is in the testing? The first thing is unit testing. You test the individual unit. For an example, think that you are building a car, you are engineering a car. You first test the engine, then the gearbox, then the chassis. So then AC system. Likewise, you test one by one separately. That is called unit testing. Then what happened? You combine the gearbox or gear with the engine and engine with this chassis. Likewise, you combine each component and start integrating it and testing. So that is the second type of testing. After the first testing, the next testing is integrated testing. Then you have to test this entire system. That means the car. This is engine and this is like chassis, gearbox, all combined, tested. Then everything combined and tested as an entire system. The entire car is tested. That is for system testing. And car is given to the user. And then test whether users like it or not. Whether users like it or not, that will be tested then. That is called accepted testing. And the next one is deployment. After the testing, you have to give the system to the actual users of it. That can be done directly. So just switching off the old system and start using the new system. That is called direct deployment. You can stop using the old system and immediately start the new system. So what is the drawback? What is the issue of doing this? Any issue? No issues. There are few issues because users may not like this. So, okay, for an example, you know that, so when this traffic people, when they implement one-way roads, the first day, people will hate that. Right? One-way thing in the first day, one-way roads, and the one-way. So people will definitely hate that. People don't like changes. So similar to that, staff don't like changes. They don't like this. But anyway, initially there will be some resistance from the users. Initially there will be some resistance, but later on it will be adjusted. Initially there might be some resistance. And the next thing is, in case of failure, you have to reverse to the new system, and that will be harder because you have implemented. Now it's not really easy to reverse. So that is the second thing. Parallel development means you do the development. Yes, if new system is ruined, that is correct. If new system is not successful, you will even lose data. So that time, the period will be really kind of overhead. So if it is not successful, then parallel development. So parallel development, the old system is also running, a new system is also running for some period. This is safer. This is safer because you still have the old system in your hand and new system is also there. But again, in the other hand, there will be staff resistance or the user resistance. The reason is what? What is the reason? They have to work with two systems. Now, instead of one system, they have to work with two systems. They have to work with the manual system and the electronic system both. That is also a problem. That is also a problem. Therefore, they want like this two, right? Because they have to work with two systems for some time. But this is safer for the organization because in case of failure, still you have the whole system and you will not lose any data. Safer for the organization. And the pilot development is you take a sample. You take a sample. For an example, the COVID-19. So in the testing phase, what they have done, they have taken a sample and injected the vaccine, some sample, and tested whether the vaccine is okay and giving positive results. That's the rate, the success rate of, so that is done by a pilot run. You select a sample and implement for a set of people. For an example, in your class, you have 40 students in your classroom. Your teacher want to test new method. So he or she will select 5 students and apply the new method and see their results. If they are improving, then they can apply the same method for the other. So this is actually less overhead because old system is also running. While running the old system, only a small piece of or small sample is given the new system as a pilot one. So that will be kind of smart thing, no? This is safer and this is smart because you are testing for a sample. Then if it is successful, you can shift the system, right? In this way, you will not lose data. So this takes some more time because you are testing for the sample and then you hand over into the, so it will take, but so for an example, if it is a critical system, that vaccine case, it is a critical one. So you have to test for a sample and then get the result, and with the rate, you have to go to the community. And the pace development means how these roads are constructed, highways. So you know the circular highway, how it is constructed. The first part is maybe up to Kaduvela, then Kaduvela to Kadawatha, then Kadawatha to what is the place? I cannot remember. Kadawatha to, I cannot remember the place. Right, okay, Katunai, I don't know. The circular highway, it's space development. Not developing entire at one, not even sample, not parallel even. Trying to release phase by phase. Even the Goal Highway, you know, first it developed up to, so where are this Morotua, then to Gaul, then to Matara, then to Tangal, and then to Tangol, and then I think now it is up to, I don't know now whether is it developed to Kataragam or not yet. Don't know. So maybe people in the Gaul, you can respond if there are people who come from Gaul, that southern side, you can respond. Okay. So anyway, that is a pace development. You do pace by pace. So that can be another way of implementation. And the last topic for today is maintenance. So whatever said and done, so whatever implemented, it cannot run without proper maintenance, need updates, because security breaches can happen. Security issues can be there. So any software released by any party will be vulnerable after some time. So you can go to, so this is one website, you can check. So that is called exploit DB. And over there you can see, so what are the possible vulnerabilities? What are the possible exploits? So let's say WhatsApp. So when you search WhatsApp, you can see, so there are here in 2024, so actually recently not found any bug, but 2024, so WhatsApp desktop cross-site scripting error was there. It was discovered, but this is in 2020, right? In 2019, there was error discovered. Likewise, time to time, some errors discovered and updates are required. So Windows 10. So let's see Windows 10. Windows 10 also. The most recent discovery is SMB Ghost remote code exploitation vulnerability found in 2026-2. Likewise, there are vulnerabilities, issues. So need to patch or need to update or need to fix these issues. Any system will have this. Adapting to the new technology, improvements, security enhancements, and maybe adding new user feature, maybe user interactivity feature. You also don't like the same system every day, no? You need some update, at least wallpaper update, at least some interface update. So those are needed. That's why so systems are changing. So maintenance is one of the most important tasks in that, right? Is the marks of grade 10 updated to the ed module? I didn't get you. So asking about what? Asking about the assignments? Right. I think still some pending things are there, seems, because so some other students who joined later still submitting the assignments and all. That's why we didn't finalize. Actually, within before April holidays, before April New Year, next week you have classes, right? Next week you have classes because we don't know whether this next, it says second is the today's second, the 9th will be the next day, and 9 plus 7 will be 16. So I think we can continue the classes because it's not fall into the New Year day. We can continue the classes without holidays in case, right? If you really need a holiday, please request. If you want to visit your relation's place or any trips and all, then can give 1 week holiday, but not more than that. But not next week, right? Definitely not in next week. Next week we are having classes. So I would try to finish this stuff, the assignment and the quiz and the mark finalizing things before the New Year vacation. New Year time, not vacation, New Year time. Okay, so with the maintenance, so next, if maintenance is no more usable, maintain karanat baina samarayawa tiyena den wahanayak ganna, you bought a vehicle and you have to put brake pad after some time, do a service, maybe you have to update your battery, and finally maybe you have to update the paint, and maybe some chassis damages due to corrosive will be there, and then you update that as well. But after some time you find this is no more maintainable. This is every day, this is giving troubles. Now engine troubles, gearbox troubles, a lot of troubles. Now you have to change the vehicle, update the vehicle. Okay, so that is it. That is what system development life cycle is. So then we have to discuss about the system development models. As the last topic, we will do that next week. That is very small thing, only a few to discuss, but we have to discuss the summary also. Next week, we will start in our new lesson, which is a practical lesson. So which is focusing more on the similar to the previous lesson number 1. If you have friends, so this is again a very good time to invite them to do the practicals, because we will be starting internet, email, and HTML, another practical important lesson in your syllabus. So you can ask them to come and join next week. Right, we will be starting the new lesson next week after finishing the small area which remains. Then good night. So if you have questions, please forward it to the WhatsApp, then I can reply. So you have classes next week, don't take holidays. You have classes next week, please come on time and join it. Okay then, good night, see you all, bye. Good night.